Right, good afternoon. We are in assembly for Academy's second race of the season, the Bob Caterham Academy Championship. It's great to have them with the other championships this weekend here at Thruxton. If you don't already, you've got to follow Carl's YouTube channel. He has got some fantastic videos following his entire journey all through the Academy, and obviously building his car as well, so you have to check that out. But yeah, you happy with this qualifying position?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. Yeah, I hope something a little bit better, but I think this is a pretty good position at Thruxton. So yeah, we'll didn't get to practice much overtaking at Brands, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think that will all change here. It's quite a different circuit.
I think so. Yeah. I'll try to keep myself out of trouble and see what happens.
Yes, excellent. Well, wish you all the best, Carl.
Thanks, Sam.
It is George Hawkins who has taken his first ever pole position. He's 8th in the points coming into this weekend, the man from Cambridge. Richardson alongside. Second row of the grid, Richard Davies, number 25, the Welshman, and number 80, Ben Oliver. Richard finished runner-up in the sprints to Max Richardson at Kerborough. Row 3, Kyle Townend in the number 19 car, and Nick Tomodakis, the Greek-born driver, number 77. Row 4, number 12, John Bond, and 89, Ollie Smith. On the 5th row, Matt Fox in the 99, and number 13, we heard from him, that's Stephen Vischer. On to the 6th row, we have number 70, Joe Oliver, 86, Richard Watson. On row 7, it's Ollie Walsh, number 55, and 24, Seb Tholle. Row 8 is Shane Forster in the 15 car, alongside 62, Georgina Tuffin. Row 9, James French and Luke Wilson. Row 10, Rob Hicks and Christian Bond rounding out the top 20. Behind them, Jason Spencer, number 8, and number 4, Richard Northridge. 88, Mark Hensler, and 14, Andrew Johnston are on row 12. Row 13, we have 67, Ross Pamphilon, alongside 37, Andrew Symington. Row 14, 23, Chris Longley, and 22, Michael Smith. And number 33, Martin Smith, starts at the back of the grid. 132.32 was the qualifying time for George Hawkins, as opposed to a 132.47 for Max Richardson. As we were shown at Brands Hatch, these drivers have learned their skills very quickly from Caterham's instructors in their ARDS tests, the Association of Racing Driver Schools. You obtain your licence to go racing in the UK. We saw lots of slipstreaming around the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and I'm sure we're going to see the same here. So George Hawkins, the citrus yellow coloured car with the red roll cage, on pole position alongside the green and gold car, number 6, Max Richardson. Second row, we have Richard Davies, that's the red and black number 25. Starts alongside number 80, Ben Oliver. He's in the silver and blue coloured car. Row 3, number 19, Kyle Townend is in yellow. 77 alongside him, Nick Tomodakis is in red. Then we've got John Bond, number 12, the white and dark blue with the glitter effect on the wrap on his car, as Sam Parker pointed out. Starting alongside 89, Ollie Smith, and he's in the familiar blue with a red stripe, with an orange stripe, almost the Gulf colours. Seems to be a Gulf liveried car in almost every championship in the UK. And completing the top 10 on the grid, Matt Fox and Stephen Vischer. Matt Fox yellow with a black stripe, and Stephen Vischer alongside him blue and black. See, a lot of these cars do have number plates. Lots of them are driven on the road to the circuit. One car in pit lane there with a last-minute hitch. Not quite sure who that is. Can't see a number on it. But the 5-second board is out for the rest of the field and the Bob Caterham Academy Championship. Their second ever circuit race, all these drivers. They've all got the novice crosses on the back of the cars, and we are underway with the Caterham Academy. Let's see what they can do on the fastest circuit in the UK. Well, a great start up the outside there for the number 80 car. That's Ben Oliver, and he gets the lead away from Max Richardson, who got away well from the outside, the front row there, side by side, as we head out of Allard and up towards the complex for the first time. It is Max Richardson who's got the lead. George Hawkins recovering from a slightly slow start. He's in second place. Oliver slides wide. Another car going wide there. I think that's the 89 of Ollie Smith. A couple of cars run wide there onto the tarmac runoff area. That was 21 Luke Wilson, the red car with the yellow roll cage. Ollie Smith is wide again out of the complex. It's very busy in the midfield. There is Luke Wilson being chased by the number 14 car. That's Andrew Johnston, the light blue number 14 with the red cage. They make their way out onto the back of the circuit. It is Max Richardson looking for win number 3, who has the lead. Can he remain unbeaten so far this season? Luke Wilson over the outside, and somebody's gone off. Big cloud of dust there. One car across the grass. I think someone spun there coming through Church Corner. That's not the place, as we said earlier, you want to have a spin. Richardson leads from Hawkins. It looks like Nick Tomadakis has come through into third position in the red, number 77. He started sixth on the grid. Midfielders charged their way through. The number 8 there is Jason Spencer, the navy blue and orange car. They make their way up towards the club chicane. Richardson defending the lead from Hawkins. Tomadakis is in third position. Oh, the fourth place man, Ben Oliver, has spun up onto the curb. Look out, everybody scattering wide to avoid him. There's a few cars banging wheels, but I think everybody has avoided the spun car. Over the curb there goes the number 15, nearly loses it. That's Shane Forster, who we heard from in the assembly area. So a typically lively opening lap there. Richard Davies, 25, gets around the outside of Kyle Townend, who was the runner-up at Brands Hatch. It's Richardson who leads the way from Hawkins, Tomadakis. Then it's Davies and Townend running together for fourth bit. Townend up the inside into the complex through the right-hander at Campbell. He's taken fourth place. Behind them it is John Bond, the number 12. White and sort of dark blue car there, just ahead of the 89 of Ollie Smith. He's under fire from Matt Fox in the number 99. Well, a typical frantic opening lap and a half for the Caterhams then, as you see in any division. Out towards the far end of the circuit, the right-hander at Village, and then on towards Church Corner. Matt Fox getting back ahead there of the Kyle Townend, I should say, getting back ahead of the 25 of Richard Davies. Here are the leaders, line astern. Richardson from Hawkins, Tomadakis on his own in third place, and then this is the fight for fourth position. This is what we saw at Brands Hatch. The first four broke away and everybody else was trying to be fifth all race long. Richard Davies moves to the inside. John Bond on his tail there, the number 12, as George Hawkins has a go for the lead and takes the lead into the club chicane. Good move there by the pole sitter in this race. Was mired in the midfield battle at Brands. Slip and slide their way around. Somebody going very wide there on the run into the club chicane. That was number 13 of Stephen Fisher. A measure of how quickly these drivers have learned. We saw at Brands Hatch there was only one retirement in that race when Stuart Beggs got beached in the gravel at Clearways. Stuart unfortunately not here this weekend. Make the way into the complex once again. The first two are broken away. Tomadakis is on his own in third. Very sideways moments in there in the midfield battle. I think Matt Fox was one of them, the 99. 55 involved as well. It's Ollie Walsh in the blue and red car, and in the middle of them, just avoiding them there, is Seb Tollet, the number 24 car. Goodness me, it's a bit frantic, isn't it, in the midfield here. The drivers will be loving this, the marshals are loving this, and the spectators loving it as well. Up towards the back of the circuit then, towards the fearsome Church Corner once again. John Bond making a move to the inside. Look how on the edge of adhesion they are through there. Seb Thollet I thought was going to lose it and go out onto the grass there. They head out of Village and Church and up through the Brooklands section onto Woodham Hill. Named after famous things from British motorsport history. They're going to spin there for Seb Thollet. He has lost it coming into the club chicane. So he'll have to rejoin further down the order. He was right on the edge. He was sideways virtually the whole of the last lap. Meanwhile, number 19 Kyle Townend under fire from John Bond in the 12. This is the battle for fifth position. It's Ollie Walsh and Matt Fox in behind them. Still your leader is Max Richardson. He took the lead from George Hawkins on that last lap. Tomadakis has done the fastest lap of the race because he's in clear air. He's in a 1:32.635. They're throwing these cars around Thruxton. And anybody who has driven their car on the road to Thruxton today may need to change tyres, I think, before they head home again. They'll be driving home on worn tyres. 72 there, that's Christian Bond, southwest of England. Matt Fox side by side with Ollie Walsh. Walsh cuts across and trying to hold the place. Matt Fox had to lift there, I think. That's Richard Watson in behind them in the number 86 car, the green and black. As Richardson still leads, he's got Hawkins tucked in behind. Now is Hawkins going to try and move into the chicane this time? Look at them slide there, coming out of Church and on towards Brooklands. Brilliant stuff. Leaders are already through towards the club chicane. Still Hawkins. No, it's Hawkins that's got the lead now. It's going very wide there and across the chicane. Mind the barriers. That's the number 12. That's John Bond. He'll lose ground as a result of that. Somebody else going off in the background. Who's that? It's the number 10 car. Wallop into the tyre wall goes number 10, James French. Straight on, I think he missed his braking point. There was a couple of other cars spinning to the inside, so may have gone off in avoidance. Meantime, George Hawkins has got the lead back again. It's hard to keep up with all this, and of course, as they've been battling, Nick Tomadakis has been able to reel them in. The red car behind them there, the 77. Richard Davies is fourth, then Kyle Townend, apologies. Ollie Walsh is now up into sixth position. He's got ahead of Matt Fox and John Bond after John made that mistake at the chicane. Richard Watson and Ollie Smith rounding out the top 10. This second race of the season, third championship event of the season for the Mubob Caterham Academy. Out through the back of the circuit they go. Long right-hander at Village and then into Church. Thruxton Village Church, not far beyond the boundaries of the circuit, hence the name. Here they come. There it is, the fastest corner in the country. First three go through now together. Look back to a battle further back. 22 Michael Smith and number 33 Martin Smith. Not sure if they're any relation, those two. Past me, it says on the number plate of 22 Michael Smith, but they're not doing so. As into the chicane, Max Richardson plays George Hawkins at his own game. Going into that chicane is where you don't want to be leading.
Voiceover Carl quickly just to talk through this. I was already on a black and white flag from the first time I took to the escape road on like lap 1, and I was really paranoid. What I didn't realise at the time is Rich behind me, he'd also taken to the runoff. I thought he'd made the corner, which would have made my overtake illegal, so I was keen to let him back past again. Since Rich missed the corner as well, I technically don't know what the right thing was in hindsight. What I do know is that effectively screwed both of our races, to be fair. In terms of, we lost touch with the guys in front, and it put us right back into the chasing park. So yeah, there's a bit of a butterfly effect later in the race, but I think this is the mistake that caused it, and it really hurts to watch that back.
The tyres, and then move up to the road sports category. There's a rating, that's Ben Oliver. He's dropped a little further back in the pack, I think. Let's have a look where he is on the timing screen. Down in 20th place, so he must have, yes, he had a moment at the chicane earlier on, didn't he? Of course, he had a spin. Stephen Vischer, is that behind him? No, it's the number 14 of Johnston. Andrew Johnston from Sandhurst. Through Village up towards Church. I said it was tricky to keep up with where everybody is in this race, as Richardson does it again into the chicane. George Hawkins had got ahead of him briefly in that citrus yellow car with the orange cage. Here's the fight for fourth, and well, he's doing well if he can get two cars side by side through there. Richard Davies just ahead of Kyle Townend. They're being chased by John Bond. Ollie Walsh in the blue car with the red stripe. Then it's Fox, Watson and Ollie Smith rounding out the top 10. Coming up towards half distance in this 20-minute race for the Mubob Caterham Academy. Three cars line astern for the lead. Green, yellow and red. Max Richardson in green. George Hawkins in the citrus yellow. Richard Davies has gone wide in the background. And Ollie Walsh did as well. So that's given Kyle Townend fourth place. Davies defending fifth ahead of John Bond. And then sliding around the outside there comes Ollie Smith, the Ollie Walsh rather, the number 55 car. Richard Watson has got ahead of Ollie Smith further back. The rest of them then come through, headed up by number 11, by the number 72 of Christian Bond in 11th place. I'm right mixed up with my numbers here, I do apologise. Here come the leaders. Richardson who leads as they come through Church this time. Here's Hawkins going to get into the slipstream and try and get down the inside into the chicane. Seen places change there, most laps in this one. And that's effectively what allowed Nick Tomadakis to close in. This is the fight for fourth. Davies and Townend side by side on the run down to the club chicane. I think it's Hawkins has got the lead. We just caught a glimpse of the flash of yellow there. John Bond has run wide. That's going to allow Matt Fox to go through in the 99. Ollie Walsh all over the back of them. Then Richard Watson in the green car. And then that's Ollie Smith in the 89 behind them. Over the line they come. It's Hawkins who led at the line by half a second. Place is changing all the time in this battle of fourth. It's Carl Townend who heads the scrap now. The inside goes Davies, very late on the brakes for Campbell. They both go out wide. Matt Fox could take both of them here with a bit of luck. He swings around the outside. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch there between the two yellow cars. Townend just took a little tap from Fox, who's determined to keep Davies behind him. And John Bond says, OK, I'll make it 3 wide then. Thinks better of it perhaps. Ollie Walsh is going for all 3 of them. Look at this, it's more like a motorcycle race. Into Noble there up the inside. He nearly got all 3 of them in one move. Who's going to lead this battle around towards Church? It's Fox who stayed ahead of Davies. Ollie Walsh nearly went for the biggest lunge up the inside there. Oh, fantastic stuff. And only the tiniest bit of contact there as well. Meanwhile, George Hawkins is leading. Max Richardson in second place. Is it going to be a first defeat for the Londoner this season? Having a look, he's sizing up Hawkins for another move as they come up towards Woodham Hill and into the chicane. Meantime, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them fighting for 4th place. Side by side as they come into the club chicane. Townend at the head of this group. Fox is side by side with Walsh, then Davies. John Bond's all over the place again further back. He's already run wide the chicane. Once over the curbs, there goes Richard Watson. So he kept it together though, ahead of Ollie Smith. 2 yellow cars together. There's Townend holding that 4th place for the moment. Richardson led up the line, so he did get Hawkins back again. There are the leaders. Quite a similar pattern as we said, and doing a bit of grass cutting there on the inside. That was Richard Davies. You saw the dust being kicked up there. I heard, I think it's Josh Barrett on the circuit commentary in the background on the PA system mentioning that. He and Marcus Pye on PA duties today. They go towards Village and Church once again. 6.5 minutes still to go. Look at him snaking around. Richard Davies there sliding as he pressures Ollie Walsh, who's just got ahead of him. There's, you can see Village and Church. You don't want to go sliding onto the grass there. You could end up heading all the way to the trees. Max Richardson up the inside. He's taken the lead back in. They're swapping places for fun out in front. Well, that's what Caterham Racing is all about. It is terrific fun for everyone involved. Drivers will be loving every second of this. Richardson up the inside into the club chicane. I've lost count of the number of times now that he and Hawkins have swapped the lead. And Nick Tomadakis is perhaps just taking his time, so if the 2 ahead of him stumble, he's ready to capitalise. Richard Davies again sliding about there. Over the curb goes Walsh. 7 of them slide their way through the chicane together. So what order are they in this time as they go over the line? Fox is up into 4th place, then it's Townend, Walsh, Davies, Bond, Watson and Ollie Smith. This group is a couple of seconds ahead of Stephen Vischer, the 13, which is in 11th place. Top 3 are covered by 1 second. They head out of the complex as the 4th place fight heads into the complex. Matt Fox, the number 99 man from Hertfordshire, has got slightly clear now into P4. James French, I can tell you, has got going again after a few repairs to his nose cone. Big nose the tyres at the club chicane. Out to the back of the circuit they go once again. Here comes the number 12. That's John Bond from Bristol. Side by side with Richard Watson in the 86. Through Village, up to Church, fastest part of the course. And Ollie Smith looking to make a move. He's never going to get through on the inside of Church. Surely, what's for the 89 car, the light blue car further back. Thinks better of a move there at Church, I think. A couple of the runners further back down the order. That's the number 37, which is Andrew Symington. This is the 4th place fight into the club chicane once again, and Ollie Walsh nearly loses it. Bit of a power slide there as Richard Watson goes side by side with Davies, who has to go over the curb. Holds the place. If he gained a place by doing that, he could risk a penalty. One car going a bit slowly there. Is that lap traffic or is that somebody slowing? I think it's a lap car of similar colours to Ollie Walsh, but he's just gone through, so that's a car a lap down, I think. Sliding about again, running wide onto the tarmac runoff area there almost at the complex. Just over 3.5 minutes remain. Still Max Richardson, George Hawkins and Nick Tomadakis battling it out for the lead. Though Tomadakis has, on that last lap, dropped back just a little. And now Stephen Vischer, number 13, is towing up onto the back of this Titanic scrap for 4th place downwards. Here, the squeal of the tyres is magnificent. You wouldn't believe all these drivers are in only their 2nd motor race, and George Hawkins up the inside there coming out of Village, and he's taken the lead at Church. Sensational move by George Hawkins. Here comes Richardson though back on the inside on the drag up towards the club chicane. Richardson under braking retakes the lead once again. There's Tomadakis, he's just looking on, thinking, well, if you two fall over each other, I can get through and win this race. One car back into pit lane. It's number 4, Richard Northridge. That's the car we saw in the pit lane at the start of the race as well, so he's got problems. Lead man from Woking in Surrey. And Hawkins is lining up another move here. He's 8th in the championship at the moment after Brands Hatch. Championship leader Max Richardson ahead of him. He's got to time it right though. He's got to be leading out of the chicane on the last lap. You've got to time your move right. It's a bit like in NASCAR racing, where everybody's racing in a draft over the closing laps. You've got to get your move right through the pack. Back marker ahead of them there.
Okay, this seems like a good time for voiceover as well. Yeah, obviously I'd made a mistake. You can watch it back. I'd already outbroke myself for that corner. I was taking a defensive line to try and block Matt from taking the inside. Matt left me loads of room. I just overdid it. And as I was getting out of shape, I came into contact with Ollie. Luckily, Ollie was able to continue and had a decent race. And he was very, for the record, he was very, very, very kind of, I guess, apologetic in the paddock, but that wasn't really his fault. He was closely following. And I made a mistake, and contact when you're racing that close, it's just inevitable. So absolutely no hard feelings there. Hopefully Ollie feels the same, because we've both come away with a war wound or two. So yeah, that was like pretty much the penultimate lap. So I'm now kind of limping back, and the drama's not quite finished yet.
Number 56 of George Hawkins at the complex. He outbreaks himself slightly, but he's held it together. Now, has he bolted too early then? Saw a back marker getting out of the way by almost parking on the grass there next to the complex. Yet Richardson back up the inside again. He retakes the lead, going through towards the left-hander at Noble. And now it's out towards the back of the circuit for the last time. Richardson from Hawkins. Tomadakis looking on from 3rd place, as he has almost the whole race long. And going for the inside is Hawkins as they go towards Church Corner. This is another very brave move from George Hawkins. Here they come. Has he made it stick on the inside? He has. George Hawkins is so brave here. And the fastest parts of the UK's fastest circuit. But has he made the move too early again? Here comes Richardson on the inside. He goes to the outside. Hawkins covering the inside. He's going to say something special here from Max Richardson. He's going to try and throw it round the outside. There's back markers there as well. They're side by side. They're both sliding. Richardson has to slow up. Tomadakis nearly gets the back of him. It's going to be George Hawkins. He's going to get out of the chicane, up across the line. It's a first ever race win for George Hawkins in car 56. 2nd goes to Max Richardson, and Tomadakis comes over in 3rd. My goodness, I thought they were both going to spin it coming into the chicane for the last time there. Everybody else is trying to cross the line together. 4 wide in the pack. Let's establish the rest of the order. Fox 4th, Davies 5th, Walsh 6th, Ollie Smith 7th, John Bond 8th, Richard Watson 9th, Stephen Vischer 10th, as quickly as that. I'm almost out of voice, and we are only on the second race of the weekend. Congratulations to Cambridge's George Hawkins in car number 56. Subject to official ratification, has taken his first ever motor racing victory. Starting from pole, had a monster duel with Max Richardson, the championship leader. And it's Nick Tomadakis who meets the podium. Okay, just get my breath back. I'm sure everyone is doing after that frantic thrash. And then we'll give you the provisional result then. There he is, George Hawkins in the citrus yellow number 56. I thought he'd made his move too early and that Richardson was going to get back through into the chicane, but George forced Max Richardson to go to the outside into the chicane. That was an intelligent move, and he wins by just under a second. Nick Tomadakis right behind Richardson takes third, then Matt Fox fourth, Richard Davies fifth, Ollie Walsh sixth, Oliver Smith seventh, John Bond is eighth, Richard Watson ninth, and Stephen Vischer in 10th place, less than 2 seconds, covering 5th to 10th. Christian Bond 11th ahead of Joe Oliver, Sebastian Thulle and Ben Oliver, with Shane Forster rounding out the top 15. Despite that off, James French did manage to reach the finish a couple of laps down. Only one retirement there, bad luck Richard Northridge, who had to pull off into the pits, also started from pit lane after some problems in the run up to that race. Okay, getting our breath back then, and we'll await the cars to head into Parc Fermé very shortly. Calm down a bit, we won't calm down a bit, who am I kidding? BMW's next, the 116i Sprint and 120i Coupe Cup coming next.
Wow, what an incredible last lap. Well, last corner actually. That was incredible. Brilliant. And George's first podium, first win. Amazing. So I'll let him take his helmet off. I'd imagine there'll be... Oh, look at that. I think they enjoyed that battle, didn't they? Just watch yourself on the exhaust there. But this is what they love to do. Chat about what just happened on track. But, you know, right, take your helmets off, guys. We need to have a word. We'll get them. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to getting that helmet off. It's quite hot in the cars. Yeah, but it's warming up a lot now down here. I can feel the heat coming off the tarmac. George, congratulations!
Thank you so
Incredible race. Like, you two had a mega battle.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was so much fun. It was like just trying to, I suppose, work together to not to hold ourselves up.
Yeah.
Was really brilliant. But I suppose in doing that, I feel like Max gave away a little bit of his tactics for the last race, going over to the inside. So I made sure he didn't cut back on the last lap.
That last chicane, Max come in, because that was quite hairy, wasn't it?
Oh my god, yeah. So he sussed me out basically. Problem is we stopped swapping for a while, and so he had about 4 laps just watching me defend for a bit, and sure enough he got up the inside of me on the way to church, and then immediately went right, and I was like, oh, he's figured it out. And so went into the final corner way too hard, and to be honest, I was just lucky that Nick didn't get past. He was closing, but I
really
just kind of parked it on the apex.
Yeah, he was there waiting for the right moment.
For us to mess up. Yeah, thank you.
He was. Well, congratulations. Enjoy this moment, both of you. It's
really
fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
And we'll come around and speak to Nick. I'll let you. Did you want to congratulate the guys first? He wants to. There you go. Look at that. I love the Academy for this. Everyone's so happy for each other, and they just enjoy their battles. So it's just great. Nick, congratulations. I mean, that was a bit of a crazy chicane at the last lap there.
It was. But anyway, I'm happy with the podium.
Absolutely.
Great race. Yeah, I managed to keep up with these guys. I did a good start as I was planning to. And then, I was with them, but I didn't feel I had enough. I was waiting for some mistake, which they made, but I didn't manage to take advantage of it. So, but yeah, amazing race. I really enjoyed it.
It looked great, and there was nobody really behind you either, so you could concentrate on the two.
Yeah, but if I lost this pack, I would fall back because I was only keeping with them because of the tow, right? So I was trying anything I could to just keep up with them, which I managed to. But congratulations to them. I mean, amazing driving. George in particular has been unbelievable this weekend, and Max. We know Max. Yeah. he's a very hard to beat. So even more for George. Credit to George for doing that, because I saw the battle from behind, changing the positions, and yeah, it was amazing.
Well done. Enjoy the moment. Congratulations. Right, we have the next BMW race up next, so I'll hand back to David.
Won't do a full debrief video, but just thought I'd give a live from the paddock. Yeah, not a bit of a come down from Brands, I'll be honest. Not many people have seen one of these before. So bonnet catch welded to a wheel rim. So yeah, pretty grim race compared to Brands, but I'm excited to watch the video back because I think there's a lot of positives to take from it as well. I think the wheel-to-wheel racing was very good for most of it. Just fell apart at the end, which I guess is that's the way it goes sometimes. Proper debrief after I've watched the video, I think.